Hey guys, that's Craig Melvin with Helen Penny Group and Real Estate News Fort Worth. Here again today, just for another quick topic. Basically, why is it important to work with a realtor, and more importantly, an experienced realtor? When buying or selling a property, it's always good to work with a professional, especially when it comes to the largest financial asset that you own or that you're going to own. Realtors can do everything from getting you the best price to showing you the most amount of homes on the market, educating you on marketing, and informing you on important information regarding contracts and letting you know how contracts, work and how they should be filled out, things like that. Another thing too is the experience counts. There's a lot of new realtors out there, and some of them are good, but they're just new. They don't have enough experience. And when you've done a couple of hundred closings like I've done, that really makes a difference. And that experience adds to your ability to ferret out things that may not be appropriate or may not be normal just because you've seen it and you've done it before. So why should you work with a realtor? Usually, first of all, they'll get you the best price. Whether you're buying or selling a home, a realtor, very often, most of the time, will get you the best price. When you're selling a home, your realtor will do a comparative market analysis for you, and so you'll always know the top market value of your home, and you won't sell it for less than it's worth. They will also be able to inform you on what upgrades need to be done and where to put your money in terms of renovations and repairs, and that will help your house sell quicker and for more money. They will help you in staging the property and having the property professionally photographed, marketed, and ready to be put up for sale. And this will in turn will get you the most amount of buyers coming through your house, and which will get you the highest offer. The more buyers you have look at your house, you increase the chance that you're going to sell for a higher value. And in this market, very often, we'll put your house on the market and get it positioned correctly in the market, and you're going to have multiple offers, 2, 3, 4, 5 offers, within 24, 48 hours sometimes. So, it's helpful to you to have an experienced agent or broker that's been through that and knows how to negotiate for you, and knows how to work through all those different variables that come up when you've got a bunch of different people trying to buy your house. If you're buying a property with a realtor, you'll be able to, your realtor's able to go back and see what that house sold for last time it sold, what other houses like that are currently selling for in today's market, and that helps you so that you're not paying too much for the house. And it can also trigger any alarms if there's a vast difference in what the house sells for from previously to now. Is it $50,000 more, or is it $5,000 less? Is there a problem with the foundation of the house that caused them to drop the price, or did they do renovations and did they add a bathroom or square footage, and that's why the price is up $50,000? And that could be a very valid price increase for a good reason. But again, your realtor can go back and look at the history and find out what it sold for the last time, and just give you an idea so you can kind of track it, keep an idea of what is going on. And that information you won't be able to find. A lot of it you just can't find yourself because you don't have access to it, because the licensed realtors have access to some of that proprietary information that the general public doesn't have. Also, they'll be able to go over your home inspection with you, get your home inspection, and so a lot of times you can read the inspection and it doesn't make complete sense to you, and your experienced realtor can look at that and go, oh, well, that's what this means. He's talking about this, or he's talking about that, and it lets you know. It just gives you more valid information and based on experience from somebody who's been through it, a lot, a couple hundred times. But then the main thing too, it helps you an experienced realtor, again, like I already said, can help you from overpaying for a property. If you're looking to purchase a home, realtors have more access to properties that you do. A lot of times we'll have other realtors in the office or other brokers. They'll say, "I've got this house coming on the market here in next week or in 2 weeks, and it's not on the MLS, it's not on Realtor.com, it's not on Zillow, anywhere like that." And so they have, we have access to properties that aren't even on the market yet. And a lot of time that gives you the opportunity to be the first one to look at the house, because you're working with a realtor who, has this unrevealed knowledge, this secret information that's not available to the general public. They also, we have access to properties that are exclusive listings that are not on the market. A lot of times, like I have a list of homes for sale that are not in the MLS, and they're not the general public aware of. And these are folks that they don't want a bunch of people tracking through their house because of COVID-19, and they don't a lot of your more exclusive properties. The sellers, if it's $1 million property, $800,000 property, $1 million, $2 million property, the sellers don't want every, Joe, Bob, and Harry just walking through their house all the time. This is an exclusive house. It's in a nice area, and they just don't want to open up their house to anybody who just come walk through it. And so we have access to some of those properties. And again, those sellers are very particular about who comes through the house, and you're not going to go through it without working with a realtor. They're going to rely on our judgment and our ability to have clients, potential buyers, pre-qualified before you come to the house. And if you're looking at a $1.5 million house, to sell it, and you don't want a bunch of people coming through your house that don't even have the ability to sell, that don't have the capacity to sell, to buy. And if they can't get approved for $1 million loan, don't bring them to my house. I just don't want every Tom, Dick, and Harry just walking through my house. So but again, so that's one of the reasons we might have access to more properties that are available than to the general public, because there's there's other agents in our office, our broker. Again, we may know about houses that are just are coming on the market, but they're not on the market yet, and it gives you a leg up, gives you a chance to preview those properties. Because a lot of what you'll see on the MLS and Realtor.com and Zillow, places like that, are houses that have the good deals have already been bought, they've been sold already, and what you're kind of looking at that point are the leftovers and what's left available. And especially in this current market, again, a lot of the homes that are available for sale, they're not really listed in the public domain out there somewhere. Another thing is your realtors are very knowledgeable, especially maybe about a specific area. There's a lot to know about real estate, from clauses and contracts to closings to taxes and attorneys and title companies and insurance and all those kinds of things. And if you don't have a qualified professional with you, you might make mistakes that could cost you a substantial amount of money in the long run. And even today, we were talking about the MUD notice. What's a MUD notice? It's a Metropolitan Utilities District notice, and again, it's in your closing docs and your title docs, and it lets you know about the tax rate for MUD properties, and most of those are in newer neighborhoods and different areas. But again, it's something that's and unless you know to go look for it, it just go right over your head, and you won't even know it until it's closing. Then all of a sudden you find out you're paying an extra 1% tax because of a MUD that you weren't even really anticipating. So things like that, that's where it's helpful to have a realtor. In conclusion, using a realtor is not an added service. 99.9% of the times, if you're buying a house, the seller is covering the cost of the realtor services, so it doesn't cost you anything as a buyer. And really, it's the best way to get the best price, top dollar for when you're selling a home, or getting the best deal when you're buying one, because you're working with a knowledgeable individual that's done this. This is not the first time they've done this in the last 6-7 years. We do this on a weekly, monthly, annual basis. And somebody who's experienced, who's got 12 years experience. I mean, you've done hundreds of closings. You've got hundreds of deal experience under your belt. And so it's just important, to have somebody who's experienced, and somebody who knows, real estate, working for you on your behalf. So anyway, this is just a quick little helpful heads up hint. And if you have any questions about using a realtor, or if you need a realtor, I am certainly available to help you. My number is 402-216-5984. Again, that's 402-216-5984. Send me a text, give me a call. We're quick to respond, and we'd love to help you out. So anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you again soon. All right, bye-bye.